Let's work with the book New International Business English. Golden rules for writing letters, including faxes and memos. Give your letter a heading if it will make it easier for the reader to understand your purpose in writing. Decide what you're going to say before you start to write or dictate a letter, because if you don't do this, the sentences are likely to go on and on and on until you can think of a good way to finish. In other words, you should always plan ahead. Use short sentences. Put each separate idea in a separate paragraph. Number each of the paragraphs if it will help the reader to understand better. Use short words that everyone can understand. Think about your reader. Your reader must be able to see exactly what you mean. Your letter should be clear. Must be given all the necessary information. Your letter should be complete. Is probably a busy person with no time to waste. Your letter should be concise. Must be written in a sincere, polite tone. Your letter should be courteous. Should not be distracted by mistakes in grammar, punctuation, or spelling. Your letter should be correct. Dear Madam, your request for our catalog and price list. As requested, we enclose for your attention our price list and catalog. I should like to take this opportunity of drawing your attention to the fact that all our products are manufactured from completely natural ingredients and that we do not utilize any artificial additives whatsoever. There are 213 different items in the catalog, and our prices are reasonable and our quality is good. This is the first time that we have included scratch and sniff samples of our 10 most popular aromas. Should you require further information, please do not hesitate to contact us. If we undersigned is unavailable, the sales manager personal assistant will be delighted to assist you. We look forward to receiving your esteemed order in due course. Yours faithfully, J.G. O'Reilly, Sales Manager. Dear Madame Dufresne, you asked us to send our price list and catalog for the new season. I'm sure you will find plenty to interest you in it. You will notice that every single one of our products is made from 100% natural ingredients. We use no artificial additives at all. This year, for the very first time, we have included scratch and sniff samples of our 10 most popular aromas. I think you will agree that our range of well over 200 natural flavors and aromas is second to none and is outstanding value for money. If you need more information, do please get in touch with me. If you are telephoning, please ask to speak to me personally or to my assistant, Mrs. Hannah Rosser, and we will be very pleased to help you. I look forward to hearing from you. Yours sincerely, James O'Reilly, Sales Manager. Planning a letter. 7 steps. Write down your aim. What is the purpose of this letter? Assemble all the relevant information and documents, copies of previous correspondence, reports, figures, etc. Arrange the points in order of importance. Decide which points are irrelevant and can be left out. Make rough notes. Write an outline in note form. Check it through considering these questions. Have you left any important points out? Can the order of presentation be made clearer? Have you included anything that is not relevant? Write a first draft, leaving plenty of space for changes and revisions. Revise your first draft by considering these questions. Information. Does it cover all the essential points? Is the information relevant, correct, and complete? English. Are the grammar, spelling, and punctuation correct? Style. Does it look attractive? Does it sound natural and sincere? Is it clear, concise, and courteous? Will it give the reader the right impression? Is it the kind of letter you would like to receive yourself? Write, type, or dictate your final version. I noticed your advertisement in the Daily Planet, and I would be grateful if you could shed me further information about your products. My company is considering subcontracting some of its office services, and I believe that you may be able to supply us with a suitable service. Looking forward to hearing from you. Yours faithfully. Thank you very much for your letter of 15th January, which we received today. In answer to your inquiry, we have pleasure in enclosing an information pack giving full details of our services. If you would like any further information, do please contact me by phone or in writing, and I will be pleased to help. I hope that our services will be of interest to you, and I look forward to hearing from you. Yours sincerely. There are a number of queries that I would like to raise about your products, and I would be grateful if you could ask a representative to get in touch with me with a view to discussing these queries and hopefully placing an order if the queries are satisfactorily answered. 12 telephone tips. Facts ahead if you want to make sure the other person has time to prepare for the call. Make sure you have with you all the documents you'll need before you dial the number. The other person may not understand you easily, so try to speak slowly and clearly. The other person can see your reactions, so always confirm that you have understood each point that has been made. Don't pretend you have understood when you haven't. The other person can see what a nice person you are, so make sure you sound polite and agreeable. The other person hasn't got all day, so make sure your call is brief. The other person is getting an impression of your firm while talking with you, so make sure that you sound efficient. Your firm's image may be at stake, even if you're just taking a message. Don't rely on your memory. Make notes during a call and rewrite these notes immediately afterwards as a record of the call. Smile while you're talking. Your listener can hear your smile. Don't try to be funny, you may be misunderstood. Don't interrupt the other person, let them finish what they want to say. Send a follow-up fax or letter to confirm any important details, especially prices and numbers, so that you both have a written record of them. Memorandum. There have been a number of comments about the amount of time being wasted with extended lunch breaks in our company. I do not want to sound as though I am against breaks in principle. Indeed, our personnel consultants have emphasized how important and efficiency promoting such regular interruptions can be if you want an effective and motivated office staff. But we must keep a check on working hours and clocking in machines for office staff do exist. We can expect a little opposition to the idea if we are not careful. You can never be sure how the office staff will react. They might well take it badly. In any case, we're thinking of clocking in machines for all clerical grades. Please send me a report. Report on clocking in machines and timekeeping. It is very interesting that the timekeeping habits of our employees have been noticed by other people in the company. It appears as the time lost by extended use of lunch breaks could be avoided. We have always known for some time that there have been a number of problems connected with the motivation of our workforce, but the role played by the apparently informal extension of lunch breaks has so far not been clarified. In one or two departments, reports of staff taking extended breaks and long lunch hours without a colleague to cover them are well known. This unfortunate development has been discussed with the heads of department in my division on several occasions. They believe the subjects of clocking in machines, one for each department for example, is not very popular with a large number of staff. The staff think that the company does not respect the majority of the staff's honesty and that the company is thinking in narrow money terms, which are not worthy of salaried employees. So I think that there is a grave danger that the action of the management could be misunderstood. Nonetheless, I feel that we should try and limit the advantages that certain individuals are taking with timekeeping. We should undertake a review of selected staff. I wonder if you have heard of the experience of our American sister company. They have central clocking in system for all the divisional offices. As soon as employees switch on their terminals at the start of the day, this is easily checked on the main computer. In this way, there is always a clear record of how many extra hours of overtime have been worked. This is a great help for some members of staff in planning their holiday requests. In theory, that is surely one way of making working time more efficient. There are some questions. What area or areas does the company work in? When did the company start? What products does the company manufacture? What recent activities of the company are worth mentioning? Where is the company located? How is the company structured? How many people are there on the workforce? How do you see the future of the company developing? Has much changed in the company in the past? Working with others. Find the answers to the following questions in the first extract. Who makes the decisions? What things have been abandoned? How are salaries decided? How are profits shared? Who reorganizes the factories? Who chooses new sites for development? What role do computers play in the factory? Who controls expenses and business travel? Who makes the boss tea? Workers come and go as they please. They make vital decisions previously made by the bosses. Secretaries have been abolished and given more rewarding jobs. The assembly line has been abandoned, as have economies of scale like buying components in bulk. A quarter of employees fix their own salaries and soon everyone will. The workers decides how much of the profits to share and how much to invest. Many of the rest are encouraged to work from home or set up their own small companies. Employees reorganize their factories and choose new sites for development. Central computers have been consigned to oblivion along with rows of unnecessary filing cabinets. Memos must be confined to one page. There are no controls over expenses or business travel. There is a reception desk but no receptionist. The boss doesn't even have his own desk and has to make his own tea. The company, Semco, located in Sao Paulo, Brazil, makes pumps, dishwashers, and cooling units. It has been crawled over by the media and hundreds of curious corporations, including 150 of the Fortune top 500 companies in the US. Semco has increased profits fivefold to nearly $3 million on sales approaching 30 million after allowing for inflation despite the hyperinflationary background of the national economy. It exports 23% of output. Productivity has risen sevenfold, and the company is free of debt. What products does the company make? How have the profits of Semco developed recently? What is the sales situation? What happens to its output? How would you describe Semco's final financial situation? One more letter. Dear Mr. North, thank you very much for your inquiry. We are, of course, very familiar with your range of vehicles and are pleased to inform you that we have a new line of batteries. We have a new line in batteries that fit your specifications exactly. The most suitable of our products for your requirements is the Artemis 66A+. This product combines economy with high power output. It is available now from stock. I enclose a detailed quotation with prices, specifications, and delivery terms. As you will see from this, our prices are very competitive. I have instructed our agent, Mr. Martin of Fillmore SA, to deliver 5 of these batteries to you next week so that you can carry out the laboratory tests. Our own laboratory reports enclosed with this letter show that our new Artemis 66A+ performs as well as any of our competitors' products and in some respects outperforms them. If you would like further information, please telephone or fax me. My extension number is 776, or you may prefer to contact Mr. John Martin of Fillmore SA in Henzhou. His telephone number is 01779902. I look forward to hearing from you. If you want to complain to a person you don't know well, be careful. A direct complaint or criticism can sound very rude or aggressive. It may be best to mention the problem more indirectly by saying, I'm sorry to have to say this, but I'm sorry to bother you, but I think you may have forgotten. It may have slipped your mind, but there may have been a misunderstanding about. In some situations, but only if you're talking to someone you know very well, really well, it may be necessary to say more directly. What are you going to do about? I'm not at all satisfied with. But only in extreme cases, if you've already tried more polite methods, would you have to threaten someone? Look, if you don't send your engineer to repair the machine, we will be forced to cancel our next order. If someone complains to you, or if you think they're likely to complain, it may be wise to apologize, even if it wasn't really your fault. Then you can promise to put things right. Sorry, my fault. I'm very sorry, I didn't realize. There has been a slip-up in our department. You can accept someone's apology by saying, that's alright, it's perfectly alright, it really doesn't matter. Now read this reply, which you received from Ocean View shortly afterwards. What reason was given for the delay? Dear Mr. Brown, thank you for your fax. We are very sorry for the delay in shipping your order. We normally pride ourselves on keeping to our delivery dates, but in this case our suppliers shipped to us late and the components didn't arrive here till last Wednesday. I am glad to be able to say that your order is being packed for export now. We will ship the goods on June 9 X Newark to Rotterdam. The shipment will arrive in London on June 17th. Again, we're very sorry, but it was beyond our control. We greatly regret any inconvenience that may have been caused. Best, Fred Duval, Ocean View Suppliers. Work in pairs, make a list of 7 products, goods, or services that are produced or provided in your country, in your city or region. A local brand of drink, a grocery product, an industrial product, a place of entertainment, a public service, an education service, another well-known local product. Here are 10 global brands. Can you name 10 well-known brands which are their competitors? Name another 5 famous global brands. What products are they connected with? Here are 5 famous luxury brands. What are they famous for? Why do people pay so much money for these brands? Here are some useful phrases that can be used when talking about possibility, probability, and certainty. I'm sure that these sales figures are accurate. These figures must be accurate. There is no doubt that the figures were carefully checked. The figures must have been thoroughly checked, so I'm absolutely sure that they're accurate. Our sales in the USA are likely to go up next year. I expect that our sales in Canada will go down. I wouldn't be surprised if our sales in Mexico went up. It's quite possible that our sales in Peru will go up. Our sales in Argentina may well remain static. There's a chance that we'll manage to break into the UK market. It's just possible that your forecast is over-optimistic. I'm not sure if the figures I've noticed down are accurate. There may have been some kind of mistake. Singapore probably isn't a very profitable market for us. I don't think that we'll be able to sell in Japan. Thailand is unlikely to be a good market for our product. I doubt if we'll be able to make any sales in Korea. I'm quite sure that it isn't worth appointing an agent in Zambia. Sales in Tanzania can have been worse than they are now. Uganda definitely isn't a good market for our product. These figures couldn't possibly be accurate. Taking part in a meeting. Here are some expressions that are often used in meetings. Highlight the ones you think are most useful. If you're in a meeting, you can find out what the other people think, what the other people in the group think by saying, "What are your views on this, John? Mr. Brown, what do you think about this? Do you agree, Mary? Mrs. Smith, what's your opinion?" If you want to interrupt someone and put forward your own opinion, you can say, "If I could just make a point here. Sorry to interrupt, but I'd just like to say that. Could I make a suggestion? It seems to me that." If you want to find out if the others in the group have understood or if they agree with you, you can say, "Do you see what I mean? Don't you agree, Simon? Don't you think so, Mrs. Robinson? Are you with me? Are we unanimous? Does anyone object?" If you don't understand what someone has said, you can say, "Sorry, could you say that again, please? I'm sorry, I didn't catch what you said." Sorry, I didn't quite understand. Sorry, I'm not quite with you. One-to-one meetings. Starting a meeting. Hello, thanks for agreeing to see me. Hello, it's good. Hello, it's good of you to come and see me. It's good to see you again. Shall we get down to business? There are a few questions I'd like to ask. Ending a meeting. Well, I think that covers everything. I think that's about all for the time being. So, do we agree that I'll put these proposals in writing and fax them to you tomorrow? Branson's new route to more jobs. For many young people, lucky enough to get a job after leaving school or college, the biggest shock of the transition to work is how few holidays they get. Having spent their academic years working an 8 or 9 months year, it can be depressing to realize that for the rest of their working lives, they will be able to take only 4 weeks off a year. Many would jump at the chance to take 3 months off, and that's exactly what happened at Virgin Atlantic, the airline run by Richard Branson. He believes the new initiative could help to reduce unemployment. Faced last autumn with a recession and with its failure to acquire more flight slots out of Heathrow Airport, the company was having to consider redundancies. Mr. Branson wrote to staff saying that cutting back on jobs was something I had never wanted to do. Instead, he invited employees to take up to 6 months unpaid leave and to participate in a job sharing scheme. The immediate crisis passed, but the idea of a shorter working year took off. When the company later asked for 300 volunteers to take 3 months unpaid leave, 450 put their names forward. Mr. Branson said, to be fair and share it around, in some cases we said that people could only take 6 weeks. Most of the volunteers were cabin crew, but other staff, including secretaries and pilots, took advantage of the offer as well. And when they came back from their break, they definitely seemed to enjoy work more, he said. The company tends to recruit and train its own staff from scratch. As Mr. Branson said, if you've been at college or on the dole, working for only 9 months still makes you a lot better off financially than you were before. He believes there is a broader social benefit to be achieved. If you are only taking on people for 9 months, that will enable others who would otherwise have no work or be living on the dole to have a chance to. And he goes further. I think that should be the basis of a pattern across the whole European community for the first few years of working life. Nor was a shorter working year only applicable to young people. If older women and men with children can afford it because one partner's working 12 months and the other 9, I think a lot of people would like to earn slightly less and be able to spend more time with their children, Mr. Branson said. This year, the scheme is on offer again, although not over the busy summer period. All the people who took time off last year would like to do this again. Mr. Branson said, but its realization depended on whether the company could recruit enough people to allow 400 500 existing staff to take 3 months off. The company was considering whether the arrangement should become a permanent feature, Mr. Branson said. For new people being taken on in most departments, we're thinking about making 9 months working a standard contract. Read this article. What are your reactions to it? Too old at 30. I'm contemplating applying to my first 51st job. It's been a long time since I wasted stamp money this way. In fact, when I reached the 50th without success, I decided to abandon job hunting and got out my pen to scratch a living instead. But there's another widely existing exciting job in the paper today. Salary from £12,500 to £16,250 according to age and experience. The good news is the pay. The bad news is that damning little phrase, according to age and experience, which means I won't get the job. It's not that I have more age than experience. I've led an incident packed existence. Unfortunately, it's not all related to a single strand career structure. Journalist, temp, company director, wife and mother, market researcher, and now a 30 something. I'm trying to use my Cambridge degree in criminology. I'm a victim of the sliding pay scale. Employers can obtain a fresh 22-year-old graduate to train a lot cheaper than me. Yet, I'm the ideal employee, stable, good humored, childbearing behind me, looking for 25 plus years of steady pensionable employment. Ageism is everywhere. It's much more prevalent than sexism in the job market, or that's how it seems from where I'm standing. Even the BBC is a culprit. Their appointments brochure says the BBC's personnel policies are based on equal opportunities for all. This applies to opportunity for training and promotion, irrespective of sex, marital status, creed, color, race, or ethnic origin, and the BBC is committed to the development and promotion of such equality of opportunity. Traineeships are available to suitably qualified candidates under the age of 25. Ageism is lagging behind sexism, racism, handicapism because even the oppressed seem to accept the discrimination. The public and private sectors are obsessed with attracting young high flyers, yet there are many professions that would benefit from the maturity and stability the older entrant can bring. This is recognized by the probation service, for example, who welcome experienced adults looking for a second career. The armed services and police perhaps could think about strenuous aptitude and fitness tests rather than imposing a blanket upper limit on entrance, which is arbitrarily and variously fixed between 28 and 33. The administrative grade of the civil service assumes the rod sets in at 32. That's a difficult text. My own pressing concern is to alleviate my guilt. I loved every minute of my university education, and I'm desperately grateful to the government for financing me through this at a cost of over £10,000. But unless someone gives me a job, how can I pay them back in income tax? Jenny Ward. So those are some useful materials I found in the textbook New International Business English.